Okay, good evening. Dan, is Joe all set?
Yep, Joe, you there?
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the Town of Delafield Board of Supervisors meeting for Tuesday, May 11th, 2021. This week is National Police Week, and I'm asking for a moment of silence following the Pledge of Allegiance to honor those who have died in the line of duty. If you'd all rise and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. With that, we'll have a roll call vote.
Supervisors Dianasopoulos.
Present.
Kranek.
Present.
Wolfley.
Present.
And Chairman Troy.
Present. Citizen comments. Public comments from citizens regarding items on or not on the agenda. The board may not engage in a discussion with the citizen making the comments. Individual presentations are limited to 3 minutes, and citizens shall follow the rules set forth in section 2.04 sub 1 sub D of the town code. With that said, is there anybody who would like to speak on something that's on or not on the agenda? If you do, come to the podium, give the town administrator your slip, and your 3 minutes will start.
Hello, I'm David Zier, North 19 West 29051 Gulf Ridge North in the town of Delafield. I'm here to speak regarding the May 4th meeting for the Town Planning Commission. My disappointment with that 4-2 vote to forward this, and I'd like to just give some sheets here to town board members. Just looking at this, if I can get these apart here. I have the other one here, but
Thank you, sir. We can email it to them.
I just put this together. But anyway, that's the census information relative to the town of Delafield, the city of Delafield, Waukesha, just for comparison here. I watched the meeting on the internet. I'm on the Kettle Moraine School Board, been there for, this is my 15th year. I'm the treasurer, got another board member here. So I don't generally come to these meetings because we generally have Tuesday night meetings, the same time we're having meetings here. So anyway, relative to the 4-2 vote to forward this for the board consideration, town board consideration for the Thomas property, for that development, the 400 some units they're proposing, 404, 410, whatever they've done, is way too high. The other thing is, they talked about on the board, on the planning, is to put 3-story apartment buildings in there as I-94 traffic noise blockers. That's just an absurdity as far as I'm concerned. If you drive along I-94, they're going to into Waukesha there, and you look on the south side of Silvernail Road, you've got 3-story apartment buildings there. And we live here in the town of Delafield to not have that. If we wanted 3-story apartment buildings by where we live, we'd live in the city of Delafield and not have what they have there along Silvernail Road in Waukesha. So I would hope that this board listens to the residents here that in that neighborhood that are essentially unanimous, as far as I know, including the condo people in High Ridge and Gulf Ridge, as well as the single-family residences there, and not go ahead along with this planning commission there. They need to redo this. It didn't seem like a very enthusiastic 4-2 vote for it either. It seemed like a rather kind of resignation, just kind of giving up on it. The other thing is, if you look at the density, we talk about 404 units, and I'm looking at the density of, or the number of people that live in a household in Waukesha. They say it's 2.37. It's a little higher here in the town of Delafield. But anyway, if you multiply that 2.37 per residence per dwelling, 404 residences. That's 957 residents on a quarter square mile, because that's about 160 acres, which is a quarter square mile. You multiply that out, that's 3,238 residents per square mile. That's just way out of whack, and I grant you that we have Nagawaki Park and golf course and so forth in here. But if you look at that population density relative to the city of Waukesha, even if you take all these other considerations, you got roads and things, it's still a very high population density. So basically what you're
You're at 3
Yes,
minutes.
sir, I'm going to have to cut you off.
okay,
sir.
so basically you're doing to something that's way out of line with the town of Delafield. We didn't
All right,
move here
thank
to
you.
have that.
Thank you, sir. Is there anybody else who'd like to speak?
All right, good evening. My name is Paul Weiss. I live at N16 W29959 Brookstone Circle. Again, I would also like to take the opportunity to discuss the upcoming vote regarding the Thomas Farm development. I think I have a bit of a unique perspective, if you will. So my family, my father and mother still live on a 169-acre farm in Kenosha County. My dad's been on that property since he was 10 months old, bought it from his grandfather, my great-grandfather. Ultimately, at some point in time, you know, I can probably sympathize more with the Thomas family and what they're going to be going, or what they're going through as far as what do you do when you inherit such a property like this. It really is something, though, that it's more than just a piece of land. It's more about than the, you know, just dollars and cents that you get out of it. It really is a legacy. It's a legacy of the work and effort that the farmers put into that. I don't know the Thomas family. I don't know the Thomases that worked the land, but I know more farmers than I can count on my hands, my fingers, my toes, and I don't know any one of them that would want to think about everything they've done and imagine when they're working the fields and they're sitting out there and think about, yep, this is what I want it to look like. 3-story apartment buildings crammed in. Nobody would want that. They wouldn't want that for their legacy. I hope that we get to a point here and we get to a point where we're not creating a divide in the town, and we're creating something that this land deserves. What's proposed now, it's way too dense. I don't think it's anything that, for a farmer who respects the land as much as you have to put in that amount of time and effort, for someone who respects and you know, farmers have a unique community as well. I mean, you're a part of that community. To create a divide like this in the community, it just doesn't make sense. I hope we get to a significantly better place regarding this land. I think the other kind of key thing to bring up here, and just more kind of call it from a process and a standpoint, what problem are we actually trying to solve here? Like, I still don't understand it. You know, it's not the responsibility of this board or the planning commission to try and get maximum value out of somebody else's property when they sell it. Again, I can sympathize with that. I can understand the want and the drive to potentially do that. But ultimately, the market determines what the value of the land is. And I can let you know that the value of our farm will not be at the same level of, you know, the Thomas farm, what that can and would be sold for if they choose to sell it. We're part of Brighton Township, which means we will have, if that ever is developed, 5-acre parcels. And quite frankly, I'm okay with that, because I don't know if I would want my farm broken up any more than that. But that's the market determines the value of the land.
Okay, we'll have to end it there, sir. Your
All
2
right.
minutes is up. Thank you very much.
My name is Blake Wilcox. I live at N20 W29906 Glen Cove Road, Pewaukee. Hello all. I want to thank you for attending this meeting. My name is Blake Wilcox and I'm a student at UW-Madison. I was blessed to grow up in the Lake Country area and acquired experiences that I will cherish for a lifetime. I currently live on Glen Cove Road on my parents' property, which was formerly, on my parents' property that was formerly owned by town board member and my grandfather, Marv Frakes. I am here to briefly discuss the implications of the Thomas family development and carry on my grandfather's legacy. You see, Too many times in today's society, we find ourselves pointing out differences between one another when we should instead be collaborating to find a holistic solution. The Thomas development is no different. Questions have begun to arise within the community regarding the implications of the development. These questions concern traffic flow, environmental impact, and the community well-being. Just 3 summers ago, I witnessed a fatal car accident that took place on Gulf Road involving a motor vehicle and a bicyclist. With the development in such close proximity to the interstate and frontage roads, the safety of the community is a major concern. By creating a higher density development, I would hate to see history repeat itself. In addition, the lack of transparency exhibited to the community has been nothing short of inadequate. The majority of the townspeople are either entirely uninformed or have little knowledge about the high-density proposal on Gulf Road. The plans proposed do not align with the community wants and, more importantly, the community needs. For instance, the Thomas development is approximately 152 acres and proposes anywhere between 404 and 833 units. The U.S. average occupancy per household is 2.6. If you multiply it out, you can roughly expect between 1,000 and 2,200 occupants on the Thomas land. In contrast, the town of Delafield is over 13,000 acres, with a population of 8,800 as of 2018. What I am saying is that this development will increase the population by anywhere from 11 to 25% on a piece of land that occupies 1.1% of the town of Delafield. To speak for the community and myself, we know the land will be developed at some point in the future. We are not asking that the land to not be developed, but what I am asking for is that the town board takes into account the perspectives of the community members like me who want to uphold Delafield's legacy of residential, recreational, and responsible. The development does not take into account the population density or the socioeconomic demographics of the county area, of the Lake Country area. The long-term repercussions of this development will extend far beyond the individuals in this room tonight. The Thomas development should encompass diverse perspectives, collective genius, and community needs. However, the current plans fail to accommodate these. This development is an opportunity for the town of Delafield to see eye to eye, make compromises, and grow together. However, the current proposal is not a collective solution. There are discontinuities between the citizens of Delafield and the vision of the Thomas land developers. This development builds walls within our town, which should instead be building bridges to unite a community. In order to better the future of the town of Delafield, I would ask the town board to think about what is best for the welfare of the people. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello. Nick Berkey, N15W29992 Brookstone Circle, just talking on behalf of the Thomas Farm Development. My overall concerns are the current proposed zoning changes voted on by the Plan Commission do not fit the current makeup of the town of Delafield, both density and look. I also believe the opinions of Jason from the County of Waukesha are way too developer-friendly. Let me go into further detail. Either side in the matter can create a narrative or a story that fits their agenda by taking small sample sizes of neighborhoods to get a certain number of lots per acre, etc. I'm asking the board to look at this decision and their individual decision vote by looking not just as parts, but the sum of all those parts, which is the town of Delafield. We must look at the entire town. Furthermore, the plan that passed exists nowhere currently in the town. The most northern home in Dover Bay, which is approximately 100 to 200 feet off I-94, sold for $510,000 in September of 2020. That was originally purchased as a lot in June of 2017 for $75,000. Today's value is much higher indeed. They have no berm and just a few trees you could see right into their kitchen while you're zipping down I-94. This notion that families or consumers won't purchase along I-94 is ridiculous and without merit. Myself and my family, for example, moved to Delafield specifically to High Sport Estates just over a year ago. We love the area and the town of Delafield. We appreciate living along I-94 for convenience for both to Milwaukee and Madison. Furthermore, we also like the fact that it offered us 0.75 acres with the convenience of being close to land, to the eye and not in the middle of nowhere. Further discrediting the point that families won't purchase along I-94, my neighbor just sold their house 2 weeks ago, listed at $550. They had 90 showings and accepted an offer well over list in 24 hours. This purchase of mine a little over years ago debunks 2 myths discussed in the Plan Commission meeting. Families won't purchase along I-94 and that young families don't want large lots. My grandfather used to tell me pigs get fatter and hogs get slaughtered. Thomas Farm should be residential with lots ranging from 0.75 acres to 3. If only half the acreage is developed, roughly 76 acres and the rest preserved for conservancy and divided out in 1 acre parcels that would generate 7.6 million in sales if each lot sold for 100 grand, which based upon my research is on the low end. Let's say we use my neighbor's lot, which is 0.7 acres, as a point of reference and use the same calculation, developing half that would generate 10.9 million. Plenty of money to earn respectfully for the Thomas family and still allow the town of Delafield to retain its current makeup and charm, which is the main reason families move to town. This is a win-win for everyone involved. I would like to thank the board for their time this evening and thank you in advance for taking the time and diligence over the next week prior to your vote to ensure you are making an informed and educated decision.
Thank you, sir. All right, can we please not clap? Can we just please, it's against, just please not clap. Let's just keep moving. Next person, please.
Jay Kraus, 418 West 29082 Gulfbridge South, on the Thomas property. The three things I want to talk to you about are the roads. You're going to put in thousands of people in that little space between Glen Cove and Elmhurst, and they can only go 2 directions, east and west. There's no going north, because you're going to run into the lake, and there's no going south because you got I-94. I don't think that this has been thought through with regard to how the traffic is going to be taken care of in this situation. I also don't think there's been any consideration of how this is going to affect all of the neighbors and their wells and how they're going to take enough water for all these properties, 440 units, and be able to not affect the wells of the existing residents. And finally, I find it disconcerting that the people that are elected to represent the citizens of this town are more concerned about the people who are going to take their money and get the hell out of this town. They don't care about what happens after they take their money and leave. But all of us who live there do. And I wish you would take into consideration how the people who live there already feel about this situation. I can't imagine any one of you sitting at that table wants a 3-story apartment building next to your house. I don't think one of you want that, and none of us do either. And I appreciate your consideration for those things. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? There are no other speakers. Okay, then we'll close the comment section and we'll move on to the approval of the minutes of the April 27th, 2021 Town Board minutes meeting. Any corrections or comments?
I move to approve the April 27th, 2021 Town Board minutes as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as submitted. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the minutes are passed. Action on vouchers submitted for payment. Report on budget sub-accounts and action to amend the 2021 budget. We're going to take that as a separate,
There are no amendments at this time.
yeah. And then accounts payable and payroll.
I will make a motion for accounts payable to approve payments of checks 64716 through 64717 and checks 64717 through 64753 in the amount of $125,528.61. And for payroll, a motion to approve the payrolls dated May 14th, 2021 in the amount of $14,038.58.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. There are no communications and there is no unfinished business. New business, discussion and possible action on the purchase of highway equipment and amendment to the 2021 budget to replace failed piece of equipment. Mr. Green.
Yes. Don Roberts couldn't be here tonight. He's on vacation. I think he's fishing somewhere, so he sent me in his stead. We have a backhoe that is from 1997. I have the invoice here for what appears to me a complete transmission rebuild. The total cost to rebuild is $14,000. But if we were to rebuild, we'd also need new tires because the tires are It was one replacement item we had foreseen this year. We didn't foresee, obviously, the transmission rebuild. So a total of $16,000 to repair. If we repair it, we have a piece of equipment that's basically not worth the money that we put into. I do have some examples of people that are trying to sell their 1997 and 1998 same model equipment for $19,000. They've been sitting out there for about 2 months and they can't get a bite on it. So with that, we have Don has proposed a couple of different options here. They're Mechalak machines. One's a 7 MWR, the other is a 9 MWR. Both have been tested. Speaking with Don, he said that the 7 would be great if he can get it. There's some other benefits to just replacing with a backhoe. One is you can do work on the side of the road without taking up both lanes of traffic. You can park along the side and let the vehicle do its job. There's also different attachments for this. So if you can see on the quote, let me pull that up. There's a ditching scoop that it can be used as a, sorry, I'm just pulling it up here. A skid steer. You can put a snowblower attachment on it. So there's a lot of different options we can use than just getting this simple backhoe that is used for, you know, maybe a couple of different things. This gives us a lot more flexibility. So Don's not one to spend a lot of money, and he wouldn't normally request this, but he has been talking for a while about wanting to replace the backhoe with something that can be a little more versatile. The issue we have, obviously, is we didn't budget for it. We budgeted for a truck this year. Pewaukee listed their truck on the Wisconsin surplus auction. We're going to be looking at that in the next couple of weeks to make sure we can get a bid, because we need a truck. We can't use the funds that we have this year to go towards this. So there's a couple of options. We can invest in what I would propose, the 7 MWR. We could fix the one that we have and hope that nothing else goes wrong on it. If you can see on my report, there's some other areas of concern when it comes to some other items, pieces that may break on the machine. It's a 23-year-old piece of equipment that we've had for that long. So I'll let the board discuss what they want to do as far as funding options go. I've spoken to Howard, our auditor, and he doesn't think we should take it out of our fund balance. We're at a 33% ratio right now, which is good, but we want to keep it that way. And especially with how budgets have been lately, if we have to go into that in the next few years, we don't want to deplete it. So obviously the other option would be to borrow. With interest rates the way they are, it's not a bad option. And down the road, we're going to have to replace this piece of equipment. So we do it now, or we put it off till next year and then have to front and basically spend half, if not more, of the repair budget of the highway department to probably not get what we put into it. So.
Okay, thank you. Joe, did you get all that?
I can hear it. The video is not coming through on this, but I can hear it.
Okay. Any discussion? Donnie does not waste money. I mean, he's very prudent with his money, or with the town's money. So if he's saying he needs it, I honestly believe he needs it.
Do we own any of those? Do we currently own any of the attachments that can go on this? Do you know?
We don't know. This is a
Okay.
completely new piece of equipment, so it would
That's what I
require
was
new
thinking.
buckets. And that leads me to another point, that if we did approve it, the quote he gave us didn't come with an important tool they need, which is a ditch bucket, which allows them to do ditches. But they wouldn't need the 18-inch excavating bucket. They'd only need a 14-inch. So the total we'd be looking at would be right at $161,000. So it's another about $2,400 higher than the quote is. if you want to approve what the quote is, I'm sure they can get it out of their equipment budget. It's just a minor technicality.
Because the 9 has 2 different buckets, the 18-inch and the 24-inch. I noticed that. So you're saying that he doesn't think that they'll need that one. He'd prefer the ditch one.
They'll need the ditch one, yes.
Yeah, okay.
So the quote that you have for the 7 didn't include the ditch bucket,
Right.
and that one, Matt gave to me just this morning, so that wasn't included in your packet. So it would be $161,000.
Even?
And $12, I think we can find $12.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So,
a ditch bucket is what's used for culverts?
Culverts, correct.
so we did have some money in the budget for repairs or new tires or whatnot.
We
Is
have,
that
we
correct,
usually
or-
have around 30 to 35,000 for repairs, and we're already in 10,000 on that, and plus with winter coming and with how old our trucks are, we don't want to spend too much on that, so.
Sure. And do we look at insurance?
Not
insuring
yet,
this?
I can get it to Mike, right now you'd just be authorizing me to go forward with the funding options, and I can touch base with Mike Walden on that right away tomorrow, so.
So could we potentially sell our old one, even though it's not currently functioning? Is it sellable?
It would be the plan, yeah, we would try to sell it for as much as we could. If somebody wanted to take the time, if a mechanic wanted to buy it and rebuild the transmission, they could. I wouldn't expect a lot, maybe a couple thousand, but
Okay.
not a lot.
So Donnie's okay with
Dan,
it? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
equipment like this generally has like an estimated, lifespan to it, generally measured in hours and stuff. I mean, has this exceeded I mean, is there any value even if this thing did get fixed, left to this, or is this pretty well, beyond its anticipated life cycle anyway?
I would say it's probably 7 years beyond its lifespan. I would usually 10 to 15 years for equipment like this, maybe 20. I think we're going into this purchase expecting 20 years because the town's frugal with their equipment, and Don takes good care of what he does have. But yeah, 23 years old for the amount of ditches and things we do, I think it's well beyond the life expectancy.
I believe we bought it used too, didn't we?
Yes.
I'm sure we did, yeah.
Yeah,
It
so
wa-
I mean, we definitely got our money's worth out of the equipment, and, as Chairman Troy stated, our highway superintendent is extremely frugal and doesn't like to spend the town folks' money unless, it's absolutely necessary.
Well, and 2, they end up spending a lot of time repairing
Right.
our equipment, where this would hopefully free them up to do what they need to do rather than repairing.
Well, yeah, it sounds like it would increase a lot of efficiencies too,
Exactly.
so.
They took it into JCB, and JCB warned them of a couple other potential issues that could cost up to 10 grand to fix as
Yeah,
well. So we want to be careful and not to keep repairing something that's just going to be a money pit.
Yeah, I don't think it's prudent to put more money into the equipment. We definitely got our money's worth out of it. You mentioned we're okay with the 7 MRW for the 161?
They tested them both, and the only real difference, they're the same exact size machine.
Okay,
The 9 has stabilizers so that it can handle a little heavier loads, but they tested both and they liked them both. And there's some things that the 7 has that the 9 doesn't that Don likes. So, and when the quotes came in, Don said that he is completely fine with the 7.
do we have any idea where the interest rates would come on this thing? Or wait until you? do
Probably
your-
similar to what our last one is, probably 2.5. They may have lowered since the last
Yeah,
time.
I would
so.
think they'd lower.
I mean, they need the equipment to do their job. They do God's work out there, plowing the snow and doing all the work out there to keep the town beautiful and clear and for all of us. I'm in favor of this. I will make a motion to approve the purchase of the 7 MWR with the ditch bucket for the $161,000. That also includes an amendment to the 2021 budget to increase proceeds of long-term debt by the $161,000.
I'll second that.
All right, I have a motion and a second for approval of the purchase of the equipment and an increase in the town's long-term debt and budget. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Okay, discussion and possible action on moving the second town board meeting in May from Tuesday, May 25th, 2021 at 6:30 PM to Monday, May 24th, 2021 at 6:30 PM. The purpose of the move is to facilitate Jason from the county to attend the meeting with a possible expectation that the Thomas Farm proposed ordinance may be on the agenda for discussion and possible action. And I think Jason should be available to the town board members to answer any questions. So we're moving it up one day. And I believe it's all been checked by Dan's checked with everyone's calendar that it fits. That fits with you too, Joe?
What's on for the move? Yeah,
Yeah, you're available the 25th, or, yeah,
Fourth.
24th?
24th. Or, yeah, the Monday, correct.
Yeah, great.
Actually, works out better for Monday, for me, so.
Great.
I'm okay with that. Let's make a motion to move the second town board meeting in May from Tuesday, May 25th, 2021 at 6:30 to Monday, May 24th, 2021 at 6:30 PM.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second to move the second meeting in May to Monday, May 24th at 6:30 PM. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The meeting's moved to the 24th. Announcements and planning actions. The town board meeting is now May 24th at 6:30 PM. Plan Commission meeting is scheduled for the first Tuesday in June as normal at June 1st at 6:30 PM. And which I will be absent. And the town board meeting in June, the first meeting in June is June 8th. Any comments or discussions? If not,
One other point, I believe June 8th is the meeting that we call the Board of Review to order to adjourn to a later date.
yeah. That's just procedural.
Yeah, that'll be at 6:15 before the town board meeting.
Oh, okay.
Okay. If not, we can adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you all. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your comments.
All right.